had this place in your life that you would love to recreate in The Sims 4? I know I have, and I will tell you later in this video. However, today we are doing it for Dusty from Stranger Things. We are recreating Mike's basement in The Sims 4. The general structure of the basement was not hard to do. There were two things that were sort of a struggle. One of them was the pillars. They were either too small or too big. So in the end, I think I started off with just wall pillars, and then eventually I replaced some of them. And the second hard thing about the structure of it was obviously that the basements in The Sims 4 have to be basements. There's windows in Mike's basement, but you can only look into the void in those, which I guess might be fitting to an extent. A lot of the things that I did were sort of focused on creating the mood and the atmosphere of Mike's basement. So it's not like a direct copy, because without CC, I think that would be really, really hard to do. And also because I really wanted to use the basement treasures kit, because that's what inspired me to actually do this build in the first place. So, why not? So things like the table and the sitting area, for example, is oval in Stranger Things, but I decided to use the one from the kit. The lamp, on the other hand, I used the basement treasures kit lamp, I think, in the end, but the fact that I couldn't find one that matches really, really got to me, because I thought it was such a statement piece that it would be better if it matched more, but I couldn't find anything that matches the lamp. I'll post some pictures in the description so that you can kind of compare and see what I'm talking about. I don't want to put them here because I don't know who they belong to. Even giving them credit, you never know 100% if you're giving the right person credit. So that little red clock was a bit annoying to place because it snaps to the wall, so I had to build a separate room and then take off the walls in order to put it on the shelf and then remove the room. That was a bit annoying. On the other hand, the new Greenhouse Haven kit shelves were perfect there for that air seating area. I think they're really nice shelves in general, and the fact that they fit there so well was also really nice. On the right you have the tools area, and that one I switched around a little bit. I'll talk about that a little bit later. And then under the stairs there's a lot of really interesting clutter. And one of the best things about the set design of Stranger Things and Mike's basement is that it is so cluttered. The more you look at a picture, the more things you find, and you're like, oh, look at that, under the table there's a desk with a light and some stuff, and that's so cool. There's so many layers, and the set design I think is just so well done. I struggled so much with finding the right table for their D&D area. No table was the right size and the right height. I think height is an issue. We only have two heights pretty much when it comes to tables. I guess three, because we also have the bar tables, and I just couldn't find anything that fit. So I'm not 100% happy with how it turned out, but I think it looks okay. I think it kind of gives off the right vibe, and it kind of represents what I wanted it to represent, but I wish I could find a table that was better. And that is the table that I end up using in the end. I think I recolor it a little bit. It's too small and I think it's either too tall or too short. There are a lot of chairs in this build and a lot of tables, random chairs and tables, which again is very realistic, very good set design. You watch the show and you feel it, there is a sort of mood and atmosphere to Mike's basement. When you're actually building it, you realize how complex and layered that set design is. Also, it's a lot bigger. When I watch the show, that basement feels, it sort of weighs on you, like a basement should, I guess. But it's actually a huge space. I will build a bathroom in the back, where what you have there is also a washer dryer combo. I do not have that. I don't have laundry day, so I cannot put a washer dryer into this build, which at the beginning kind of upset me and made me sad. But then later on, that's where Dusty's living space is going to be. So it turned out okay. So the whole point is that Dusty is rebuilding Mike's basement, but he also wants to live there. So there are differences to this build. First of all, the build is changed so that Dusty can live there. Second of all, it's obviously slightly in the future because Dusty is grown up. This is an alternative universe, okay? All right, guys. That gave me some freedom to, for example, put the mirror there from the kit. It's also important because the set changes so much. So not only is the basic set design really, really good. What they do is they change things around a lot so that the set is always interesting, but also makes it kind of hard to recreate. Like in one picture you have a dartboard, and then on another picture it's a TV, and like there's a blanket there. Like things shift around a lot, but that kind of allows me to maybe have a bit more freedom and sort of put this thing here and this thing there that I wouldn't put there normally. So the tool the tool corner was really annoying because I was like, there is something in this game that I can remember that could really make this work, and I couldn't find it. So I looked for it for freaking ages, and then I thought, you know what, this is Dusty. Dusty is a modern day druid. That's kind of what I decided. So he likes animals and he likes plants, and he lives basically like downstairs he has Mike's basement, and then upstairs he has a greenhouse, which is a build for the greenhouse haven build. So downstairs, instead of a tool wall, he has a flower arranging table, and he still has some tools there. I love the skeleton. I think the skeleton is so cool. I think it just adds so much to the build, and generally that corner across from like the tool area, the clutter there is one of my favorite places, I think. Maybe because of the skeleton. I don't know. I like skeletons. They're cool. I just think generally like the clutter of the furniture in that corner looks really basementy. That little table under the stairs with the light and stuff is also one of my favorite little spots. I think that would be like my table. And that's where I would hang out, under the stairs, like Harry Potter, but like by choice. So I wanted to include the vibrating heart bed, but it's so big.
That's what she said.
I wasn't sure like where to place it to sort of utilize it to its full potential, while at the same time not taking out like a quarter of the basement. I do think of a way though. Cluttering those shelves over that sitting area, the shelves from Greenhouse Haven, was really fun. I really enjoyed it. This is where I decided to put the flower arranging table. I really like the slide that is a career unlock that I didn't know we had, or I like couldn't remember that we had, or I did remember and then I found it. I don't know. Anyway, I think it really sort of adds to the room quite a bit. There's always like these little details that you add that just kind of make things work. And then I place a table behind it, and basically I just put some files and folders there. Like that's where Dusty basically files his stuff, but also I put down some tools there later on as a nod to the fact that that was a tool corner in the original build, but it's just Dustified. Been a long time on pillars. No pillars were right. Eventually I just went with like what looked good and was relatively functional at the same time, like opening up the space a bit. So the bathroom, originally I made it really, really small. Obviously like 3 tiles, but then I was like, you know what, I think I can make it bigger. It's like fine. And that's basically Dusty's living space. So instead of a washer dryer, I decided I'll just put a living space there. And Dusty, this is where I moved the vibrating bed. So I make it smaller and I put it on a shelf. That's how I solved the vibrating bed issue. It's for us. It's not for Dusty. Dusty doesn't care about that bed, but for us, it's there. So you're welcome. And Dusty's living space is really, really basic and very, very Spartan because he doesn't care. He cares about his plants. You know, he's a very sort of nostalgic person, but he doesn't necessarily care about things aside from like emotional attachments, which is why obviously he's got this basement. I feel like this is something that Dusty would do. Anyway, so his bedroom corner, I guess, is a very, very, very Spartan. It's basically, you know, a bed and a microwave and like a small fridge and stuff like that. Enough counter space to actually have counter space. This is where I start creating the structure for the fort. The fort was something that I kept delaying majorly because every time I'd start building there, I'd be like, there's nothing I can do. Without CC, I cannot make this fort the way it's meant to be, which was really, really annoying. Eventually I do make something there. It's not exactly like the fort, but again, this is Dusty's reinvention of Mike's basement, so I think that's okay. You'll see. I think it's actually a cool place to hang out. So there's like a bunch of little pictures on the walls here, and behind the lamp, and I will get to that in a minute, there is this black screen, and I don't know what it is. If anybody knows what it is, please tell me, because I have no idea. Like, have a look at the pictures that I link below and tell me what the hell is this black thing. I use the like keep calm, carry on black picture there. Obviously I'm trying to find something that looks like that, but I am miserably failing. There we go, that one. I use that one because I felt like that kind of is the right shape and is the right color, but I'm not 100% happy with it. There's some weird things on that shelf in general. Like there's like a horse thing. There's some games and stuff. Here's me re-putting the TV, or maybe it's the first time I'm putting it there. I don't know, but I've done it so many times in this build. It just feels like, oh, this must be the 100th time. So cluttering these shelves, again, was really, really fun. Obviously in The Sims 4, we don't have that many slots when it comes to shelves, which is kind of annoying. They're working on it, I guess. They're recognizing the problem. Hopefully we would have more functionality from the shelves in the future without using CC. But I try to make everything that I do, at least without CC, unless it's like specifically to look at CC. And the only mod that I have is Better Build By mode, and mainly for filtering things out and just turning on like debug and stuff. And I use debug quite a bit here for clutter, like that box there, the game there is debug. I do have a debug guide, and at the end of the guide I also talk about Better Build My mode. So it's generally a video, if you're interested in this, that I highly recommend you watch. I think it is a very useful thing when you're a builder in The Sims 4 to know how to use and how to utilize. But you can get like single pieces and cans and mugs and plates and stuff, which really adds to the room. The first thing Dusty did when I was playtesting was clean all the cans and the plates up, unfortunately. So this is day 2. Guys, check out this background, okay? I mean, I had so much fun making this background and the music and everything. It was so atmospheric the second day that I was doing this. So this is day 2. The reason we have wall coverings and flooring is because I was taking screenshots to like promote the stream. Eventually, I just pixelated it all out. It didn't matter. But when I was taking the screenshots, I had to add some walling and some flooring because otherwise it looked really, really dumb. So, and it surprisingly actually was easy to find like the wall and stuff, and then the flooring, because I was just taking like part of the basement as a screenshot. I just put the same carpet everywhere, but I do change it a little bit later. So this is where I put the DM screen in, which is really cool. It doesn't exactly look like a DM screen. If you look at it, obviously there are many things that are wrong with it, but it's like this. It's not like what we have these days, which is like this massive cardboard thing, but that's like what it's like on the picture. It's like this. And it is actually an interesting thing about D&D today and D&D back then is obviously now we have the option to do so many more things. You know, we have maps, we have miniatures where you can 3D print them, we have terrains. I mean, there's like so many options that we have that they didn't have back then. But then again, for RPGs and tabletop RPGs, it doesn't necessarily matter. They can enhance the game, but in the end, all you need is your imagination. You don't even need you don't need anything else, which is why tabletop RPGs are the best. This is the thing I was talking about. This is Dusty's happy place. One of my happy places is like a student apartment with a bunch of friends. When I was at uni, I didn't party at all. I didn't like go out to clubs, like maybe once or twice. What I did is I played tabletop RPGs. We played them all night. Like not every day, but like once a week. And it was the best time ever, like literally the best time. So this is where I do the flooring. It was hard to match because it's got like a weird shape in the photos. So I just that was the best I could do, that it kind of goes like this. These carpets are a little bit weird, but it is a basement. We do weird things in the basement.
That's what she said.
Oh my God, this rug. This rug, guys. This rug took me ages because it's like a really shaggy sort of hairy rug. I could not for the life of me find something that is even remotely similar, except for maybe this one kind of fluffy rug that we have, but it's rectangular. There might be some in packs and expansions or whatever that I just don't have, but I didn't have one there, so I just struggled. I spent a long time doing this. And this is what makes these builds so long. Is like, and this took 8 hours. Like it was 8 hours of streaming. So sometimes, you know, I'm AFK or I'm at the beginning of the stream or I'm having a conversation with someone, so I stop for a minute. It's not exactly 8 hours, but it does take a long time, especially when you're like stuck and you're like, I really want to get this right. I am waiting to see you. Yeah. This is a skewer. It's not. It's a comb. Oh, right, lighting. Lighting was also kind of hard because it's like, it was really annoying. Whenever I looked at the picture, I was like, we have something like this in The Sims 4. We have something like this. And then I would find it and I'd be like, it's completely different. So I would be like really excited that I have something. And then I would actually find it and then it didn't match. Or there was something wrong with it. And I found that very frustrating, actually. But eventually the main light, I had to like raise it all the way up like into the first floor or the ground floor, depending where you're from, in order for it to kind of work. Lighting was hard. Again, that side light, that eventually I just used the kit light, but generally that side light was also really hard to match. So I think lighting is my kryptonite in general in The Sims 4. I have emotional issues with Sims 4 lighting, unfortunately. So funny enough, the debug pizza, if you put it on the floor, the box is closed, but the moment you put it on a counter, it opens the box, which I found super annoying. The more you know. There you go. Now you know. You'll see it in a minute. There you go. And then it opens. And then if I put it back on the floor and it's already open, it doesn't close again. It unfortunately does not work the way that I intended for it to work. And asparagus apparently. I don't know why I was pulling out the asparagus. I think I just got excited that I found asparagus because asparagus is now in season. And I freaking love asparagus. So I was like, asparagus, oh my God. But I had a lot of asparagus lately, so I need to stop. It's not good for you. It's not good for your nose. If you know, you know. The basement's getting more and more cluttered. The cassette tape is like a nice touch because even though this is in the future, I think we had cassette tapes in the 90s. We must have, because obviously that's when I grew up and we had those. I kind of don't understand the whole half headphone thing that you get in debug. Is like when you put your headphones down, they don't magically sink into the surface. But apparently they do in the Sims 4, okay? I don't know why. It's weird. And again, it was just like putting more and more like cluttery, sort of basementy cluttery items. And it was just a lot of cluttering. And cluttering in The Sims 4 is a skill in itself, and it's a big deal. It's a big deal. And this is a build that is built for clutter, basically, which kind of makes it fun, but also difficult and also time consuming because cluttering does take some time, especially if you know you need to raise things. I do have a guide on to how to do that as well. That is a short. I can link that below as well. How to raise things and stuff. I love these. These are, so many things happening. Okay, I love these. They are feathers. So they are feathers when you see them in the debug menu, but when you drag them out, they become pictures. And this is also where I go a little bit wild. And I'm like, the upside down has found Dusty in the future. And I found some roots and I was like, oh yes, this is the way to go. There's a little bit of a creepiness thing coming in there on the side. I haven't actually played with Dusty just yet. I did the 100 baby challenge the other day on the stream. If you guys are interested in me actually editing that out, because I don't know if I will, then let me know, because right now I'm not planning to. Okay, so this is where I start off maybe thinking about doing the bunker. And I spent a lot of time here talking. Like just procrastinating. And a lot of time trying to figure it out. I try all sorts of things. I try these tents. I try like all sorts of curtains. I will cut it out because it was like an hour, okay? And this is where I end up with a little sleeping bag there with a little bit of a roof. So it's kind of like an open bunker, but I think it's still a nice place to hang out. Put a light down there later. There were just no right answers in this build. In the build, like in this bunker thing, there were just I tried freaking everything and nothing looked good. It was just impossible to do. Again, I think if I had CC, I could make it work. I just put in some lighting, a little bit of, different vibes in the bedroom. There's a bit more of an outdoorsy vibe or more rustic. And then I finish off the bathroom. The bathroom is meant to be really kind of basic as well, which makes sense because it's a basement bathroom. So it's very basic. I kind of like the way it turned out. I think, there's a certain charm to doing things a certain theme. Like not everything has to be pretty or, pretty pastels or like fancy or whatever. Some things just look good because they are realistic, I guess, or like a representation of the world. I think I could have done a better job on this shelf, actually. I think I was getting a little bit tired of cluttering, and putting things onto the shelf just took freaking forever. I'm not happy with it. Okay, I could have cluttered it way more. So that's something that you can do, and then show me what you did with the shelf. Actually, if you want to download this, I'm just Nissai Simology on the gallery, and you can download this entire build. And if you make it better, which you will, like if you touch it, you'll probably make it better, okay? Just use the hashtag #STBasement, and then I will have a look at those. I would love to see them. I basically just add some art here and there at this point. It's just finishing touches, and art is a really good way to change or make something more interesting or give it a bit more oomph. The shelf as well. I was like over cluttering at this point, so I was just like, what can I put in there that will fit and I don't have to put too much effort into it? I was tired. And I was like, he's gonna have a servo because it's in the future and he's built it. I don't know. Dusty has a lot of interests, okay? He's a complicated character. And we got some walkie-talkies. A walkie-talkie. And I found this boiler thing and I thought that was actually more fitting than just like the shelf. So I put down some tools in the tool area. I put a boom box there. I feel like, again, a little detail that makes a big difference. There are just so many things that you just put something down and then suddenly it transforms the entire area in The Sims 4. And that is like part of the beauty of it. Did I already talk about my background? I had so much fun. This Stranger Things poster that's in the background of my stream, I had that thing forever. I bought my non-husband a poster for Christmas. It was a Blade Runner poster because that's his favorite film. And I bought myself a Stranger Things poster at the same time. And it's just in the closet. So we have not like put them up or anything. And I finally got to use it. And I just love the way it looked on the screen. The build is pretty much done. I forgot to put something on that wall. Actually, that bothered me a lot later on. But generally, that's the build. It was so much fun. I didn't want it to end. It's a sort of build that you can just keep adding and adding and adding to because of the clutter. One thing that I really did miss was actually pillows and blankets. Like that was something that I really, really missed in this build, not being able to put down like pillows and blankets because they are so prominent in the set design. Oh, there's Dusty. Dusty in the future. If you want to be part of these builds that I do, if you want to have a say, I absolutely do like backseating, like backseat gaming. You can come in and tell me what you think. I'm not saying like I will 100% follow what you said, but I do listen. And I do consider it. And a lot of the time, if I can, I try to fit in whatever you guys want. So I stream on both YouTube and Twitch at the same time. It is on Sundays at 9 p.m. Central Eastern Summertime currently. I'm really, really close to affiliate. I need, I think, as of this day, 14 followers on Twitch. And then I can finally add emotes for my followers. And I'm like so excited. I've already got like some ideas and might have created some. I might like have them created already. Just a quick reminder to like the video and subscribe if you want to be notified and want to see more of my builds, challenges, thing, guys. If you want to know how to put down pizza boxes, cans, pieces of board games, then you can use the debug guide. Have an amazing morning, evening, or night. And remember to look under your bed just in case there's a Demogorgon just hiding there. That is a scary thought. I am going to go now.